Alabama with a big win over LSU. Now they head into this matchup with Mercer. We're going to talk about the LSU game, get Jake's perspective on what that means for Alabama. A dominant win in Baton Rouge. Place is still on fire. Hopefully they put it out because we're gone and we're off to the next game. Isn't November for contenders? Yeah. Remember that? Hey, thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. Brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code next round to double your initial deposit. And let me do this for Jake. Let me get the show started the only way that he knows how to do it. If they did a Daniel Moore on that LSU game, I don't even know what it would be. Would be Baton Rouge burning? I mean, Alabama went in there 42-13, and they scored a touchdown. LSU with 11 seconds to go. So it was even worse than that.
Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, if Jalen Milroe does come back, they're going to be burning effigies of Jalen Milroe next year. I mean, forget about Coach Saban, but what he's done to them over the last couple of years, I mean, it's just been downright disrespectful.
Hey, finally the guy's running the football again.
Hey, man, it's like we talked about last week. Whatever it takes to make him comfortable is what you need to do.
Yeah.
He ignites everything on offense. He's your guy. He's the motor. As long as he's comfortable and playing within himself, you got a chance to win the game, or at least be proficient on offense.
Right.
And if the defense is playing the way that we played, man, I mean, sound. We're where we're supposed to be. We're being physical, getting pressure on the quarterback when needed, and creating turnovers in the most timely parts of the game. Just all around dominant, getting movement up front. Jalen he's working the edges. He's running the ball when he needs to. Kalen DeBoer using motions, shifts, everything he's got to do to get us in a advantageous position where we got numbers. And when you got a guy that runs the ball like Jalen, it's almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, well, it was a fantastic effort. I mean, we talked about how important it was for him to run the football, but him running the football opens up the run game for the other backs. It changes the way that you pass. I thought that Alabama did a great job preparing for the bad weather. They embraced the rain. The game plan was fantastic. The coaching was fantastic. Milroe was fantastic. A+ for Alabama. The defense back-to-back weeks now, or back-to-back games, has been fantastic. Fantastics all the way around, Jake. Fantastics.
Yeah. I tell you, if there's one thing I learned at Alabama, it's really not giving a shit how it looks as long as you win the game. And, we didn't get any style points for that game, but I tell you, there's a lot of coaches around the country that looked at that game on Saturday and were like, oh, man, they play like this, hit us in the mouth, make us win our one-on-one matchups on defense. It could be a long night for whoever's playing Alabama.
Yeah, I thought one of the biggest plays of the game was they get the 5-yard penalty to make it 1st and 15 right out of the chute. And then Milroe's rushed in the pocket. He rolls out and he throws just a seed, as we call in baseball. Boom, right over there to Hollywood. First down. And I felt like from that point on, it was a good old-fashioned country ass whooping.
Yeah. Well, it just needs to, we can play old school Bama ball utilizing Jalen in the run game. I mean, bringing those safeties down and then taking advantage of those deep opportunities. We missed a few. It was raining. Would have liked to have seen Ryan Williams catch that ball for a touchdown. And then I think Emmanuel Henderson, we had another shot on with him, but luckily we were able to run the ball so efficiently it didn't matter. But again, you watch us on offense, and again we got guys moving around, and ultimately the ball snapped. You got the running back sometimes getting all the way up to blocking the safety, and there's nobody left. I mean, that's when you know that you've got them outnumbered, out-leveraged, and then you've got Jalen I mean, somebody for LSU has to win a one-on-one matchup defensively and make a tackle on Jalen, which is a lot to ask, And so when you got Jalen, I mean, free to the second level because you blocked so well, that's great coaching, and having those athletes, it just makes it tough to stop.
Mm-hmm. So you get the win. Now you got Mercer, 9-1 Mercer. They did lose to Samford, but 9-1 Mercer. So it tells you that they're a solid football team that in their league is one of the best. Then you go to Oklahoma. Then you got Auburn. So these are all winnable games for Alabama. The college football playoff rankings are coming out later today. You got Alabama as number 9 in both of the other polls, AP and the coaches poll. They're now the top-ranked 2-loss team. And when you look at where they are since the Tennessee loss, it feels like the 3 areas where I really felt like they had to get better in, they have. Milroe's running the ball. That makes them a ton more tough to stop on offense. They've played much more disciplined football. I think that's even with the penalties that they had, it was pretty even both ways. It's a tough, you're talking about rain, you're talking about the environment, but they did a good job there. And then third downs, they were great third downs. It was one of Milroe's best third down performances on offense all year.
Yeah, to me, defensively, I loved watching that game. And we talked about this on the radio Monday, but it just looks like our defense is finally starting to settle in. That they, for the first half of the season, or most of the season up until that Missouri game, looked like we were just trying to figure out how to play within our own scheme. Trying to understand how to play with our guys, how to understand doing what Kane Womack wants on defense. And over the last couple of games, you're seeing guys, not only are they understanding what they're supposed to be doing on defense, but it looks like we're able to digest and understand what the offense is trying to do to us. And, you look at some of those interceptions, some of our guys peeling off their technical responsibilities and going after the ball earlier because they understand what LSU is trying to do, where Nussmeier's going with the ball based on what he's seeing. And then, guys, again, you're not coaching these things. These are things that, Kane Womack's pointing out, but he's telling his guys where to be and here's what LSU is going to do. And that's just watching film over and over again and understanding, okay, I see this concept. I got to do my job, but then I know where he's going with the ball so I can anticipate and get to the ball quicker, break up balls, make interceptions, tackle guys before they get first downs. You saw Garrett Nussmeier. He throws a few interceptions. And when I'm watching him and a few pass breakups, when I watch him, I'm thinking, he's really doing what he's supposed to be doing, but guys just making really good plays. It's good on good, good football versus good football. And, our guys just ended up making the plays.
So looking to this week, what would your message be to the team? Because I know that our sense is this should be a pretty easy game and that Alabama should be able to rest some guys. But at the same time, after what happened against Vanderbilt, you also have to worry that, hey, you can't think of it that way.
Yeah, the team you're playing, the emblem, the logo, the team doesn't matter. You got to worry about yourself at this point. And I think these guys, when you get to this point in the season, you pretty much know where you are. Mm-hmm. And with back-to-back performances, you got Missouri, you got LSU, both dominant performances. LSU, to me, much more impressive than the Missouri win. And I think guys really understand, have confidence in what they put on the field last Saturday. And so when you come into Mercer, you've got that feeling of, okay, we've got the potential to be a national championship team here. We can beat anybody in the country. We got the players to do it. We got the coach to do it, to put us in the right position. Now we got to finish. And I think guys have probably matured a lot over this season. And again, with that added confidence after beating LSU in the manner that we did, I think it's a lot easier to walk into these games you're supposed to win and dominate.
Yeah, and that's what they got to do. Disciplined football. Now, Q Robinson is going to be out for the rest of the year. This is a guy that had 4 sacks on the season. He had been an integral part of this Alabama defense. A lot of teams are losing a lot of their best players. That's where we are this point of the season. But how does Alabama replace a Q Robinson in that pass rush? What do they do there?
I mean, what option do you have? I mean, you're not,
right.
it's you may line up a little different. You may adjust a few things, but at the end of the day, it's next man up, and hopefully that doesn't cost us too much, But the old Alabama, you had 2 deep that were potentially all SEC guys. We're going to find out what we have from the perspective of depth, and you're going to find out what Kane Womack does. We've never seen him, at this point in the season at Alabama, working with some depth issues, and so this is a learning experience for everybody here. And I mean, you also we've had 8 games, or 9 games now. Yeah, so we played 9 games. That leadership's going to have to carry the load. Going to have to deal with the new guys rotating in and communicate with them and teach them. It's going to take a lot more than Kane Womack and Freddie Roach and all those guys coaching them up. You got to have some leadership within that helps support these new guys that are going to be rolling in.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com. Make sure that you guys are a subscriber. It's free, and it's easy to do. And I know that I say this each show now because it gets complicated for people from Auburn. But Alabama fans, you guys know what to do. Thumbs up means Roll Tide. Make sure that you subscribe, right? And then hit the bell so you know when we're going live or dropping new content. Right. So we try to do them all about the same time each week, but it just varies, on availability and all that stuff. And obviously when something breaks, we want to be there for it. So Alabama going into this Mercer game in good position now. I feel pretty confident, Jake, that if they went out, they'll make the college football playoff, but there's nothing guaranteed. Even as bad as Oklahoma's been, that's a road game. That's going to be tough. And then playing Auburn at home. Auburn's whole season turns around if they beat Alabama. So these are 2 really dangerous games once you get past Mercer. But you got to get past Mercer before you can even really get into that. And the biggest question that I have, and I'm going to end the show on this, is can this team, and I feel like the one criticism I have of Jalen Milroe, just because he leads the offense, and really the team, is that this team, to me, hasn't been able to handle success the last couple years. Last year, they beat Georgia. They didn't play their best game against Michigan. I think they let that one slip away. And then they beat Georgia this year, and then they lose to Vandy and Tennessee, and now they're kind of back on track. How is this team, and how can they handle success?
Well, I think at this point in the season with 2 losses is a little bit different. We beat Georgia, and everybody's saying, me included, is saying we're not going to have any. There's going to be no drop off after Coach Saban leaves, right? I mean, we were making jokes about Auburn and all these other schools that had talked trash about us, that we're going to be, 7-6, whatever. So, you beat Georgia, you're on top of the world, then you lose to Vandy, and then you lose to Tennessee, and everybody's telling you how bad you suck. Jalen Milroe, you got Mel Kiper talking about how he's a first-round draft pick after that Georgia game, and then his stock, obviously goes down after you lose to Vandy and Tennessee. And I think once you have, the entire media landscape, your fans second-guessing you, again, the media talking trash about you, talking about how bad you are, and I think it really puts a chip on your shoulder. I know in 2015 we had that same feeling after you lose to Ole Miss. The dynasty's over. We're done. I think it brings on a whole new mentality. I guess that was a hell of a take. I saw the fireworks.
I know that. Well, that's when you know that you've kind of finished up. There's nothing else to say. And you got fireworks behind you. Hey, guys, catch us on covercrimson.com. That's where this all is originated from, covercrimson.com right now. Get the annual subscription, and you get the Cover Crimson t-shirt for free and being a part of that. And you guys that are part of the OG crew, you're going to have a special badge that'll be next to your name on the message board. And we're redesigning right now, so be part of it. Clint Lamb's on there breaking down the games, giving all a look at every single snap and much more. Covercrimson.com. All right, for Jake Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie. A great time, Jake. Brought to you by mybookie.ag. Promo code next round to double your initial deposit. We'll get back together this week, and we'll talk Alabama and Mercer, and just kind of look at the college football playoff race when those standings come out later today. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and roll tide.
Roll Tide.